And our guest today, Mr. or Dr. Bill DeFalco. Are you on?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
In
I don't know if
fact, I
you
was
can
just
see
leaving
me.
New York. Yep, I just was thinking of our first time meeting. I went to New York. I just left there last week and I met you, and you were a force of nature.
Yes, I remember
So
meeting
tell
you
us about when
too.
you started Sisel. You've got an amazing story. You've got one of the strongest testimonials on the triangle that I've ever heard. I love it. You know the products and ingredients inside out, and you've just you knew my dad. You loved my dad, and it's
Absolutely.
always great.
Yeah.
I
So
know.
anyway,
We all.
thank you for having me on So anyway, I got started with Sizzle 16 years ago. I just celebrated my 16th anniversary on the 20th of this month, 2 days ago, and now with this company for 16 years. And I will tell you that I would not be here. I literally would not be here if it wasn't for these scientifically advanced products that really have made such a change in my life. A change beyond what anything you could imagine from any of the products. This truly is a remarkable company. And I always like to refer to the minds at Sisel for their incredible creativity, starting from your late dad on down to Tom Maurer Sr., who I just revered. It's just an absolutely incredible individual, very talented, gifted individual, and a man with a vision who put this whole concept together years ago. Uh, he became such an important force in my life. There's no doubt about it. So it was such a great fortune for me to have to stumble across this company at a time when I was 56 years old at the time, and at that time I had undergone four stent implants. Actually, no, a total of six stent implants with four procedures. I had six stents in my heart. I was, aging for a guy who was 56. I was 56 going on 96. And I didn't think I was going to live long enough to see my sons graduate from college. That's how bad I was health wise. I had suffered with a lot of health issues throughout my life. Just to mention, too, I had an injury to my back that caused severe back pain from compression of the vertebrae, which literally squashed one of the discs so bad that, if your discs are the cushioning material in between the vertebrae, if they get compressed or damaged from an injury, then the nerves that run in between the vertebrae, now they're getting pinched, and that causes all kinds of awful pain. I was convinced I needed back surgery for that. That happened about how long? About 4 years before I came to Sisel, and then I had hurt my knee getting onto a rental car bus at Dallas Fort Worth Airport on one of my business trips with General Electric. It was late at night. It was a late Sunday night arrival, and it was online waiting to get on the bus. And when the bus pulled up, the driver yells out, "The kneeling function is not working." So the bus was way high off the ground instead of kneeling down and making it easy to step on. So I had my luggage in one hand and my computer bag in the other hand. And with all this weight, I put my right foot up on the bus because I had a crowd of people behind me. I should have just thrown the bags on the bus and jumped up, but no, I stepped up and then I pivoted my whole weight on my right knee, and I felt something stretch. And from that point on, I had pain in my knee. I was convinced I needed knee surgery. Well,
Like I said, I met him years ago in New York, and he has such a powerful story. His father died at a very young age of heart disease. So he knew he was kind of on that path. And he ran into my dad, loved my dad. My dad loved him. They were just these, product and ingredient, lovers. And he started taking the products, the triangle especially, but he had some serious health issues. And he literally just says he owes his life to Sizzle. He's got an amazing testimony that I would love everyone to hear. But like I said, he's a doctor. He practiced his medicine in New York City. So he's got quite the background. But being with Sizzle 16 years, he's one of the originals. So I always love to hear from him.
to tell you a quick joke, none of us live forever. Everyone agrees sooner or later your time has come. But how can you tell when you leave this place? How can you tell when you get to the next place that you did not make it to
Wow.
heaven? Does anyone know? How can you tell when you get to the next place? How can you tell when you get there that you didn't make it to heaven? I will tell you. If there's a computer there, you did not make it to heaven. So anyway, with that being said,
Bill loves
uh,
his his jokes. He will always have them on hand. So
That's what I
I
loved
love
about
it.
your dad had such an incredible sense of humor. I
He
just loved
did.
your dad,
And so
especially
did
when he
you.
talked
So
about
carry on.
yeah, when he developed eternity, and he was talking about all the remarkable benefits that were discovered in test or laboratory animals. And I said, I want you to understand that we're talking about animals. We're talking about rats, mice, monkeys, my mother-in-law, animals. I just I just love your dad. Anyway, so getting back to my knee and my back pain, which I was convinced I needed surgery for both. After 4 months on Renovator and Ficoidin, and of course the whole triangle of life, the back pain went completely away, which means the cartilage, the cushioning in between the vertebrae that got damaged, literally regenerated itself, and my knee pain went away. And I never needed any. I just turned 74 on August 11th. I don't need my knees, my back, everything is working perfectly. And meanwhile, I have younger siblings. My two sisters have had, one of them has had both the knees replaced, the other one's had a hip replaced, and she needs a knee and I don't need any of it because, see, I told everyone about it, Sisel, but even sometimes your own family members don't want to listen to you. But life has proven that I was right in the long run. I don't have any knee or joint or back problems at all. I mean, I'm just doing phenomenal. The only major issue I ran into health-wise was 2 years ago, as of yesterday, August 21st of 2023, I underwent a triple bypass open heart surgery. And it was a challenging thing to go through. However, my wife brought the two key products, the Eternity and the Ficoid, to the hospital. She showed them to my surgeon. He approved that I could take these products. Okay, I also had the age pill with me. Okay, I brought several of the supplements, okay, including the Super Omega Plus, the age pill, my Brain Vitality, and my Renovator. I was taking my little suite of my core supplements with me. And I had the surgery done on a Monday. And the physical therapist came into the room on Wednesday just to see if I could stand up with the walker. Okay. I stood up with the walker. I asked if I can go to the bathroom. I said, if you feel up to it. I was able to use the bathroom. Never had to use a bedpan, which I love. Never, because I was able to use the bathroom from the second day after surgery. Okay. And then she said, you want to see if you could walk around the room a little? I said, no problem. I did that. You want to see if you can walk down the hall? I wasn't supposed to do that till 2 days later. I went all the way down to the other end of the building and back and did it the second time. I mean, by Thursday, I was doing laps around and Friday, I was like all over the doctor comes in, the surgeon comes into my room on Saturday morning with his whole entourage. And he said, I got an incredible report from your physical therapist. You're doing things we didn't expect you to do 2-3 weeks from now. He says, you can go home today. So had the surgery on a Monday and went home on Saturday. And the rapid recovery, if anyone ever has an auto accident or an injury, what does your body need to recover from it or from surgery? It needs what? Stem cells. And what produces, what stimulates stem cell production in the body like crazy? Fucoidin. Okay. So taking that Fucoidin every day helped my body rapidly recover from the surgery. I was back on my feet. I mean, I left the hospital. I went home. I used a walker one day and I put it in the closet and I was walking without the walker. And I mean, I made such a, they had therapists coming to the house and they were amazed at how I was walking around. And literally 6 weeks after surgery, I was back behind the wheel driving my car. I mean, I was right back in my game. There's no doubt in my mind that these products from day one, from when I had 6 stents in my heart and I was, what do they say? 56 going on 96 and got on the triangle of life. Eternity was a brand new product at the time. And it just made such a remarkable improvement. And because I was being monitored by my doctors and they were checking things like cholesterol and triglycerides and all these other factors, also all of those numbers just dramatically improved. They could not get over, like, what are you doing to change everything? My heart health improved. I stopped. I didn't need any more stents. And you have to understand, I come from a family where my dad died at 66. And the only reason why he made it to his 60th birthday is because I was Johnny on the spot with aspirin when he was having a heart attack. And most people back then, we're talking many years ago, didn't know about the benefits of administering aspirin. at the first sign of a heart attack. We didn't learn that until maybe only 20 years ago. And I'm going back like 30, 35 years ago. Okay. So, but all my father's brothers, all of them dropped dead on the streets of Brooklyn from massive heart attacks before this. Not one of them saw their 60th birthday. So for my dad to make it to 66, long before Sisel was even, a concept, was an amazing thing. And so, I had that precursor in me for heart disease, and it came back to haunt me later on. When I had to undergo the triple bypass. But the doctor said to me, he said, we did all these tests on you. He says, outside of this fact that you got these clogs and we can't address with stent and we have to go in and do bypass. Because outside of that, he says, your lungs, your liver, your kidney, your joints, everything else is working fine. You have no other health issues. So he said, you should be really good to go once we, just do this, put these 3 grafts in. And sure enough, here I am like a brand new man. I feel like I have another 20, 30 years ahead of me. And there's no doubt in my mind that this all came about because of Sisel International, because these amazing products that people have no idea how good these products are until you go through what I went through. And your doctors are amazed at seeing you go from open heart surgery, 7 hours in surgery, and then a week later, you're going home and you put the walker in the closet on the first day and never use it. It's still it's in storage. I never needed it. Anybody want a walker? I'll give you a really good deal because I don't need it. But I can't say enough for these products. How about a dental mouth rinse that kills a toothache literally in less than a minute? I've had this I was doing a presentation in the Flatiron section of New York City. That's where they have the Flatiron building, the kind of triangular shaped building, the first skyscraper in New York City, the first building to have an elevator. Right across the street from it is a spa that's run by a lady, and I was doing a presentation for her. And she invited some people, and one was a young lady who had a tooth extraction, and she had a really, really bad toothache. And they brought her behind one of those portable screens that they use when they do massage therapy. And I could hear her moaning in pain. And when I came to the dental product and I talked about how this mouth rinse it has these analgesic or pain-killing properties to it that I've experienced people with toothache. You put this in your mouth and you hold it over the tooth and the pain goes away. Next thing you know, the lady, and I was doing the presentation for her, can we try this with this young lady? I said, absolutely. I took a break. We went around the curtain and I said, here, I poured her 2 teaspoons in a shot glass. That's all. I said, hold this in your mouth, hold it over the tooth. I come back around and literally in less than 2 minutes, she comes walking back out and sits down in the chair. And she said, my toothache is completely gone. I can't believe it. And because of that, the lady signed up in Sisel right there because of that one product demo. About 4 months ago, my son called me, my youngest son. He said his wife had a toothache. I said, come on over. I gave him some terminated mouth rinse and a little shot glass. I have a bunch of them. I said, have her put 2 teaspoons. That's all you need. It's magic. You don't need to like gallons of it. 2 teaspoons. And have her hold it over the toothache. Her toothache went away, she said, in less than a minute. The pain went away. It never came back. And I said, make sure you get to the dentist. I don't think she's gotten to the dentist yet, but I said, go see the dentist. But the toothache went away. I've never seen a a mouth rinse that can do that. And how about a toothpaste that rebuilds and restructures your enamel? And it has no fluoride. And by the way, congratulations from the state of Utah for being the first state to ban the addition of fluoride in drinking water, because fluoride is a neurotoxin. It's a poison to the brain. And there's a strong connection between people who use fluoride-based dental products and Alzheimer's, which is out of control, okay? No Alzheimer's over here, folks, because I use a dental product that's free of fluoride. And of course, I take Brain Vitality, which is light years ahead of all these other products we've seen, Prevagen and this and that. People, I take this. Guess what? I've been taking Brain Vitality long before Prevagen was even thought about it, because the minds at Sisel came up with this remarkable brain health product. And I heard a testimonial from one gentleman who said his stepmother had forgotten his name for 5 years, totally forgotten his name. He got her on the Brain Vitality. And at the end of her first month, he walks into the kitchen and she calls him by his first name. All of a sudden, she got him. He said, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I could tell you story after story about what these products have done for people. Okay, that I had a lady who had cysts all over her breasts, and she signed up with Sisel, and I did a call. I was talking about two of the most powerful anti-cancer substances known to man are resveratrol and ficoidin. I had never heard about ficoidin, and I was always up on nutrition and wellness, believe me, for all my life. But it wasn't until I came to Sisel International I learned about this remarkable nutrient that God put on this planet called ficoidin, that Sisel has, without a doubt, the best ficoidin product on the market because it's the only one that has virtually no embedded arsenic, which is naturally occurring in the limu moly plant that all these other companies use to make the ficoidin with. It's chemically bound in there, so you can't filter it out. But again, the minds at Sisel figured out a way to extract the naturally occurring arsenic that molecularly bonds with the ficoidin molecule during its development. It's missing some outer electrons, and it just so happens all this abundance of naturally occurring arsenic just happens to provide the right electrical complement. So you got, with all the other brands out there, you're taking in a certain amount of arsenic, and there are labels on those bottles telling you to limit your maximum intake. We don't have any such limitations on our ficoidin because we have the spray dryer technology that is exclusive. It was designed by Sisel scientists, built exclusively for Sisel, and it's only in one place in the world, in Sisel's incredible world-class manufacturing facility in Springville, Utah. And by the way, anyone who's not had an opportunity to visit this incredible facility, and I've been there twice, completely blown away by this facility. And amazing. We have technology no one else has. We have the best recording in the world. And again, we cannot make any medical claims. Sisel has never said we can cure cancer, we can cure that. And not all nutritional companies cannot make medical claims. What Sisel can say is we provide the highest concentration of the highest quality and most powerful natural nutrients that have reams and reams of medical studies behind them. You can go to PubMed.gov and just type in ficoidin, and you can see hundreds and thousands of studies on ficoidin and resveratrol. Remarkable, powerful nutrient. The problem is go find a supplement that has a high potency resveratrol to it. It's almost impossible because resveratrol, once you remove it from its source inside the grape, it's, once it's taken out from you have to crush the grape to release the resveratrol, but now it's exposed to the atmosphere, to air and light and room temperature, and that causes a degradation process that breaks down the resveratrol. So all these resveratrol supplements, and believe me, there's thousands of them on Amazon, you're getting inert resveratrol supplements that give you so little resveratrol active component that's like not taking anything at all. But you want to talk about power-packed, a power-packed resveratrol supplement. There's nothing else like Eternity with the very unique manufacturing process exclusive to Sisel. That number one keeps it in a liquid state and delivers it in a way that it arrives at a high. So you're getting super high potency resveratrol in Eternity. Such a well-named product because, again, I would not be here on this call right now if it wasn't for products like Eternity. So without having these remarkable products, and I can go on and on and on, I could talk hours about it. Suffice it to say that if you don't have these kinds of products, let me take one more segue. Let's not forget about Sisel Cafe. Oh my God. I spent years getting used to the bitter taste of black coffee with nothing in it. And I thought I was doing great until the summer of 2013. In July of 2013, I took an early retirement from General Electric, and I said, the first thing I'm doing, I'm going to visit my company. And in August, I flew out to the company to attend a red carpet event, and I happened to be among the lucky few people. And I know another one of the gentlemen here is on the call who's there with me, Tim. I know Tim Proctor, if you're on the call, you were there with me there. And that's when they broke us up into two groups, and one by one, we went to tour this magnificent manufacturing facility. And as we came to this one section, all of a sudden, this intoxicating aroma of coffee was in the air. And lo and behold, we saw Sisel's infrared coffee cooker. I never even knew such a thing existed. Imagine being able to cook coffee beans in hundreds of degrees below the temperature that coffee beans are normally cooked at. We're using flame roasting. The flame roasting destroys vitally important properties in coffee, destroys them. But our process preserves them because we don't use flame roasting. We use infrared cooking. So we start with, first of all, the finest coffee beans in the world, grade 1 Panamanian, hand-picked for that beautiful bright cherry red color. And Sisel and Tom Morrow, they went straight there and made a deal with the growers and the pickers, and they bypassed all the trade unions and everything, and they made a phenomenal deal. We get these incredible coffee beans, the same beans that these upscale cafes in California are selling cups of coffee for $75 and as much as $150. We're getting a steal on the Sisel Cafe, but we're getting ours that's not flame roasted. So we don't have the acrylamide content that their $75 a cup coffee has, okay? So low in acrylamide is virtually non-detectable because we're not flame roasting, number one. Number two, how about not one, not two, not three, but 4 therapeutic doses of 4 powerful herbs: Bakava, Shaga, Gotu Kola, and Ganoderma. If you look up the benefits of these herbs alone, it's absolutely astronomical. You get these companies, they boast about, oh, we got Ganoderma in our coffee. Well, Tom Morrow and Sisel actually commissioned an independent company to look at one of these companies. I'm not going to mention their name, one of these big coffee MLMs, how much Ganoderma you're actually getting per cup, and they found out something astonishing. Barely a detectable trace in a cup, barely. And you need to drink literally a gallon or more of their coffee to get a therapeutic. Who drinks a gallon of coffee a day? Are you taking a bath in it? No. With Sisel, you're getting therapeutic doses of not only Ganoderma, but Bakava, Shaga, and Gotu Kola as well. 4 powerful herbs in a coffee that's not flame roasted, but cooked in an infrared cooker, and has its roots in the most exotic coffee beans in the world. And what do you have? You have a coffee that no one else on the planet has. It's called Sisel Cafe. And when we came back from the tour, I walked back into the conference room, and right outside they had 2 large urns that were brewing Sisel Cafe. And lo and behold, I became part of a group in Sisel, a distinguished group that became the first distributors in the company to taste Sisel Cafe. So I went out, I made a cup of, filled myself up a cup, and I sat down, and here I am, the guy who took 10 years to get used to the bitter taste of black coffee. I took 1 sip. I'll never forget. I said, oh my God, I'm spoiled rotten. From then on, I can never drink, to me, regular black coffee. It's bitter, it's hard. Sisel Cafe, because these coffee beans are grown on the side of an ancient volcano where the volcanic dust mixed in with the soil and imparts this naturally sweet flavor that only a coffee connoisseur can do. This test for your friends. Brew a cup of your regular coffee, I don't care what brand you want, and then give them a cup of Sisel Cafe and tell them to take a sip of the regular coffee first and then Sisel Cafe, and the difference in flavor is like night and day. I can't start my day without Sisel Cafe. So that's another remarkable.
Okay, Bill, I have to cut in. We're getting to the rest of the call. I told everyone he's a force. So end this with, and it's a very hard question, what is your favorite product?
It has to be Eternity. It has to be, because Eternity, again, I could talk hours about it, but we all have this gene in our body called SIRT1. It's a gene that controls how we age. And for all of us, anywhere between the ages of 18 and 30, the gene will turn off. And when it turns off, our body transitions from a gradual, graceful type of aging to a rapid, accelerated, degenerative type of aging. And this is when we see people starting to really, outwardly appear much older than they are. And they say everything starts breaking down. Your skeletal system, the cushions in between your joints start to wear thin, and you got joint pains and all aches and pains. I mean, literally, you transition from rapid degenerative aging. From gradual aging to rapid degenerative aging. Well, guess what? When you take resveratrol in a high potency form, and there's really no other supplement on the planet that has this unique formulation in Eternity that delivers what? High potency resveratrol, not inert resveratrol, and that's strong enough to reactivate the SIRT1 gene. I believe that that component right there is what has been the primary thing behind extending my lifespan and not having all these degenerative illnesses that all these people encounter, and just they accept it's part of being aging. You don't growing old doesn't mean you have to shrivel up like a prune. Growing old, you can continue to age gracefully thanks to Eternity. What a well-named product. That is my absolute favorite product from Sisel, no doubt about that. Not to forget the fact that I have my Sisel caffeine, but the very first product I have each morning on an empty stomach is 1 ounce of Eternity. And you don't want to drink this stuff down, okay? You want to sip it, one little tiny sip at a time. I call sip, swizzle, and swallow. That's a technique. Take one tiny sip, I mean tiny. It takes me about 2 minutes, minimum 2 to 5 minutes, to nurse down 1 ounce of Eternity, because the more you hold it in your mouth, the more it gets absorbed transmucosally right into your bloodstream. Because when you take any supplement, it's going to encounter the stomach acids, which are very harsh on resveratrol. But even so, the special process that it's made with protects it through the stomach acids, and you will still get absorption, through your duodenum, as it passes through the stomach. However, you get more absorption if you hold it in your mouth, and you get it absorbed through the tissues of your mouth right into your bloodstream. So it's the only resveratrol supplement that can be introduced into the body transmucosally through your mouth, bypassing the digestive tract, getting that high potency Eternity right into your body. So you want to sip, swizzle, and swallow. Nurse that down, one tiny sip at a time. You can drink down the Victorian and the Spectrum Max, but when it comes to the Eternity, don't mix it with anything. Sip, swizzle, and swallow. Enjoy every tiny little, and I'm talking just enough like to wet your lips, so that if you do it right and you swallow, you're going to naturally swallow. Anytime you put something in your mouth, you won't feel hardly nothing going down your throat, because most of it's been absorbed through your mouth and it's gotten right into your bloodstream. And I'm telling you, that wakes me up every morning as my morning 1 ounce shot of Eternity. What a remarkable product, and how aptly named. Amazing.
Great advice. Thank you, Bill. Loved having you on today. And you could go on for hours, and we'd love to have you back on again. But
let me give you one more thought. I know you're running out of time. I talked all about the products, but folks, we have a spectacular opportunity here that wouldn't be there without these products. I always tell people, the products are the opportunity, and the opportunity is the products. We have unique products no one else has. They deliver results like you've never seen before, along with the highest paying compensation plan in the industry, because of the perfect storm. Our manufacturing plant is also what? A subsidiary company that makes products for other companies and brings revenue in that covers the cost of our products and enables Sisel to pay us higher commissions than any other company. That wraps it up, folks. The perfect storm, Sisel International. Put your life behind this. And I'll tell you right now, the house that my wife and I are in right now, we bought after I retired, and I needed to come up with $250,000 to cover the cost of this house, which was well over $250,000. We had some money from the sale of our first house, but when the mortgage company said, my wife wasn't making enough money to pay for the mortgage, do you have an income? I said, yes. Can I see your last 5 years tax returns? And my accountant delivered them. And because of the money I made with Sisel, which, by the way, has been over $500,000 to this point. Absolutely amazing, without really putting a lot of work in, folks. The products did most of the work. The results did, the testimonials did all the work, and just sharing the story and inviting people to try it, and their sharing the story grew a nice organization that I'm living in the house that Sisel bought right now. Our retirement home would have never happened. We got that mortgage, and we're doing fabulous thanks to Sisel. I can't thank you, Liesl, and your father, and your brother, Tom Jr., and all the wonderful, amazing people, behind this company, that make it what it is, the perfect storm, a one-of-a-kind opportunity that don't let it slip by. Don't let it pass you by. Spread the word. Sisel International. Thank you for having me on.
Great advice. Thank you, Bill. Obviously, you're a Sisel OG, so I think everybody's looking at you and seeing what you've done. Such great words, great advice, and cool stuff to listen to.
Absolutely.
I've heard you for years, but it's always good to talk to you again. Thanks for being on.
Thank you, and hello to all our great friends in Australia.
Yes, absolutely, and New Zealand.